Number 10. Light bulbs. Let's start with something so normal you don't even question it anymore. Light bulbs. For over 100 years we've been told bulbs just burn out. That's physics. Filaments get hot, they weaken, they snap. End of story. Sounds reasonable. Except in 1924, something strange happened. Major lighting companies, General Electric, Philips, Osram, secretly formed what was called the Phoebus Cartel. Historians later uncovered their agreement. They standardized light bulb life to 1,000 hours. Not because they had to, because they wanted to. Here's what they don't tell you. Engineers had already built bulbs that lasted 2,500 hours. And there's a bulb in Livermore, California, installed in 1901. That's still glowing today. Over 120 years later. So durability wasn't impossible. It was bad for sales. Internal cartel documents show companies were fined if their bulbs lasted too long. Imagine being punished for making something too reliable. It's like building a phone battery that lasts 20 years, and getting sued for it. If bulbs last decades, you don't rebuy. If they fail every couple years, you do. That normalized planned obsolescence. Replace. Repeat. Don't question. And now every time you twist in a new bulb and shrug, well, they just die, you're participating in a system engineered for that exact moment. LEDs today can last 15,000 to 50,000 hours. Funny how suddenly longevity became possible once competition and regulation stepped in. They didn't lack the technology. They lacked the incentive. Number 9. Non-stick pans. Now let's walk into your kitchen. Non-stick pans. For decades we were told they were perfectly safe. Revolutionary. Modern. A miracle coating that lets eggs slide like they're on ice. DuPont marketed Teflon like it was the future of cooking. And most people never questioned it. But in the early 2000s, internal company documents surfaced during lawsuits in West Virginia. They revealed that DuPont had known for years about concerns linked to PFOA, a chemical used in manufacturing Teflon. In 2005, the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency fined DuPont $16.5 million for failing to report substantial risk data. That wasn't a conspiracy blog. That was federal enforcement. Studies later linked PFOA exposure to kidney cancer, thyroid disease, and developmental issues. Environmental Health Perspectives published findings. Court records documented contamination near manufacturing facilities. Now let's be clear. Modern non-stick products are often labeled PFOA-free. Not every pan is dangerous. The real issue wasn't cookware. It was concealment. Internal memos showed they were aware of potential risks while publicly assuring safety. It's like knowing your car's brakes might fail, but advertising how smooth the ride feels. Why risk transparency? Because convenience sells. Non-stick pans became standard. Easy cleaning, faster cooking, higher margins. And switching production methods earlier would have cost millions. Silence was cheaper. Meanwhile, alternatives like stainless steel and cast iron, which last decades and contain no synthetic coatings, were framed as old-fashioned. So every time you were told, "Don't worry, it's safe," remember this, they knew more than they told you. Number 8. Laundry pods. Now let's talk about something even more subtle. Laundry detergent pods. When they launched around 2012, especially Tide pods from Procter & Gamble, it felt like genius innovation. Pre-measured. No spills. Clean design. Bright colors. Premium packaging. But here's the quiet part. Pods cost significantly more per load than traditional liquid or powdered detergent. Industry pricing analysis showed that consumers were paying noticeably higher cost per wash cycle for the same core cleaning chemicals. It's like buying pre-sliced apples for double the price. You're not paying for chemistry. You're paying for format. And because pods look advanced, almost futuristic, they feel worth it. But here's where it gets uncomfortable. Between 2012 and 2017, poison control centers reported tens of thousands of accidental exposures involving detergent pods, especially among children. The American Association of Poison Control Centers logged over 50,000 cases in early years. Bright colors, candy-like appearance, highly concentrated chemicals. Convenience came with risk. Now to be fair, companies updated packaging, child-resistant containers, bitter coatings, safety campaigns. Not all detergent pods are inherently evil, but ask yourself this: why push them so hard? Follow the margins. Liquid detergent was a low-growth, competitive market. Pods allowed brands to increase price per wash without it feeling like a price hike. Smaller packaging, higher perceived value, higher profit per load. And because it feels innovative, you don't question the math. Meanwhile, bulk powders and refill systems, often cheaper per wash and lower in packaging waste, don't get the same marketing spotlight. So every time you drop a shiny little pod into the machine, you're not just buying convenience. You're buying premium psychology. Number 7. Smartphones. You were told smartphones just slow down over time. Apps get heavier. Software evolves. Old hardware struggles. That's what everyone believed. But in 2017, something interesting happened. Apple admitted that it had been intentionally slowing down older iPhones through software updates. They claimed it was to prevent unexpected shutdowns caused by aging batteries. Now let's be clear, battery degradation is real. But here's what they didn't clearly communicate at first. Users weren't told their phones were being throttled. It felt like your device was becoming obsolete. And what do most people do when a phone feels slow? They upgrade. In 2018, Apple agreed to pay up to $500 million to settle a class action lawsuit in the United States over this exact issue. That's not a conspiracy. That's court records. And it wasn't just about performance. It was about perception. If your phone feels old, you feel behind. If it feels slow, you assume it's time to replace it. It's like dimming a car's headlights gradually and convincing the driver the whole car is outdated. Now, Apple later added battery health transparency features. They adjusted communication. Other manufacturers improved disclosures. But the pattern was established. Design doesn't always fail by accident. Sometimes it's managed decline. And every time you think, my phone just isn't what it used to be, ask yourself, is it really outdated? Or just gently nudge toward replacement? Number 6. Printers. Let's talk about one of the most frustrating objects ever created. Home printers. You buy one for cheap, sometimes cheaper than a dinner out. It feels like a deal. Until you need ink. Then suddenly, a tiny plastic cartridge costs almost as much as the printer itself. Here's what they don't tell you. Printer manufacturers like HP, Canon, and Epson have long relied on the razor and blades model. Sell the device cheaply. Make profit on the consumables. But it gets deeper. Multiple lawsuits have accused printer companies of programming devices to stop printing even when cartridges still contain usable ink. In 2016, HP faced backlash after a firmware update blocked third-party ink cartridges. Customers woke up to error messages that effectively forced them to buy branded ink. HP later issued a statement calling it a security feature. Interesting timing. There have also been reports and investigations showing printers displaying low ink warnings while measurable ink remains inside. It's like a gas gauge that screams empty when you still have a quarter tank. Now again, not all manufacturers operate identically. Not every warning is fake. But the economic structure incentivizes early replacement. Because ink margins are massive. Industry reports have shown inkjet ink can cost thousands of dollars per gallon, more expensive than luxury perfume. Let that sink in. You're not buying ink. You're buying dependence. And every time you reluctantly click Replace Cartridge, the model works exactly as designed. Number 5. Fast furniture. Walk into a big box furniture store. Modern couch. Minimalist design. Affordable price. Feels like a win. But here's the uncomfortable reality. A growing body of environmental research shows that many mass-produced furniture items are designed for short lifespans, often using particle board instead of solid wood. It looks sturdy. It photographs well. But after a few moves? Wobbly legs. Peeling veneer. Structural weakness. Why? Because replacing a couch every 5 years generates more revenue than one lasting 20. The Environmental Protection Agency has documented a sharp increase in furniture waste in landfills over the past few decades. Fast furniture mirrors fast fashion. Low upfront cost. Short durability. High turnover. It's like renting ownership without realizing it. Now, not all affordable furniture is low quality. And not all premium furniture is ethical. But the broader system rewards disposability. Repair culture has quietly disappeared. Try finding replacement parts for a broken particle board dresser. Almost impossible. Because repairing isn't profitable. Replacing is. And every time you say, it's fine, I'll just get a new one, the cycle continues. They didn't just sell you a couch. They sold you temporary permanence. Number 4. Shampoo and conditioner bottles. You've probably heard this one before. Lather, rinse, repeat. Sounds harmless, right? Just good hygiene advice. But here's what they don't tell you. The instruction to repeat didn't come from dermatologists. It came from marketing departments in the mid-20th century when companies like Procter & Gamble and other personal care giants were expanding mass shampoo production. Washing twice instantly doubles usage. It's like being told to pour a second cup of coffee before you even taste the first. Now let's be clear. If your hair is extremely oily or dirty, a second wash can help. But for most people, one proper wash is enough. Dermatologists have repeatedly stated that overwashing can strip natural oils, leading to dryness, which conveniently makes you buy conditioner, hair masks, and repair serums. See the cycle? Shampoo dries, conditioner restores, serum repairs, repeat purchase. Industry reports show global shampoo markets are worth tens of billions annually. Small behavior nudges, like repeat, scale massively across millions of households. And think about it. Every time you squeeze out that second handful without questioning it, you're literally washing money down the drain. They didn't invent dirt. They optimized habit. Number 3. Coffee machines. Single-serve coffee machines were marketed as revolutionary. Fast, clean, barista quality at home. Brands like Keurig and Nespresso turned coffee into a capsule experience. But here's where it gets interesting. Single-use pods cost significantly more per cup compared to ground coffee. Industry comparisons show pod coffee can cost multiple times more per serving than traditional brewing, and the machines? Often incompatible with generic pods, at least at first. In 2014, Keurig attempted to introduce a DRM-like technology in their 2.0 machines to block unlicensed pod. Customers pushed back hard. Lawsuits followed. The restriction was eventually softened. Sound familiar? It's the printer model all over again. Cheap machine, locked ecosystem, expensive refills. And then there's the environmental angle. Billions of pods have ended up in landfills globally, prompting regulatory scrutiny and recycling debate. Now, to be fair, some companies introduced recyclable options, some improved sustainability messaging. But the core model remains: convenience at premium price. It's like buying bottled water when you already have a tap. You're not just paying for coffee. You're paying for portion control, packaging, and ecosystem lock-in. And every time you pop that capsule in, the recurring revenue machine spins. Number 2. Disposable razors. Razors are small, but the business model is huge. Companies like Gillette, owned by Procter & Gamble, pioneered the razor and blades strategy more than a century ago. Sell the handle cheap, make money on the cartridges. And here's what most people don't realize. Over time, razors didn't just improve. They multiplied. 2 blades, 3 blades, 5 blades, precision trimmer, vibration, each new version marketed as revolutionary. But dermatologists and shaving experts have often pointed out that more blades don't necessarily mean better skin outcomes. In fact, multiple blades can increase irritation for some users. Yet prices climbed. Replacement cartridges became expensive enough that subscription disruptors like Dollar Shave Club built entire companies around undercutting them. Why? Because margins were massive. It's like upgrading from a fork to a 5-pronged hyperfork and paying triple. The psychology is simple. If shaving is tied to confidence and professionalism, you won't risk cheap tools. So every few weeks you rebuy. Tiny product, huge lifetime value. You don't own the razor. You rent the blade. Number 1. Extended warranties. Now this one might surprise you. Extended warranties. When you buy electronics, appliances, even household gadgets, there's always that moment at checkout. Would you like protection for just a little extra? It sounds responsible, safe, smart. But here's the math. Consumer reports and multiple financial analyses have consistently shown that extended warranties are often high-profit add-ons for retailers. Most products either fail within the manufacturer warranty period or last far longer than the extended plan. Retail insiders have admitted that warranties carry some of the highest margins in stores. It's like selling fear insurance. You're not buying coverage. You're buying peace of mind. And retailers know that uncertainty makes people spend. Now, to be fair, there are exceptions. Expensive repairs on certain products can justify protection. Not every warranty is useless. But statistically, the house usually wins. Every time you feel that small anxiety, what if it breaks? Remember that fear is part of the pricing strategy. They don't push warranties because they expect to lose money. They push them because they don't. So there you have it. 10 everyday household items. 10 quiet design choices. 10 profit models hidden inside normal life. None of this is wild conspiracy theory territory. It's incentives. It's margins. It's business models shaping behavior in ways we rarely question. Now you can see it. Next time something breaks early. Next time a refill costs more than the device. Next time you're nudged to upgrade. You'll notice. Which one shocked you most? And if you want to go deeper into another everyday system designed to quietly drain your wallet, subscribe. Because once you see the pattern, you can't unsee it.